Hey my beautiful girls and my handsome boys, welcome back again to your favorite astrology channel, the one and only Jupiter Astrology. First of all, please don't skip this video. Yes guys, before you move forward, I would like to add that please don't skip this video, otherwise you will not understand anything. Because this video is a very different type of video. What I am going to tell now in the beginning of video is very important. Okay, so please don't jump directly to your planet, otherwise it is not going to be beneficial for you, right? So for what I want you to watch the full video. This video must be watched without skipping, okay, because the information that I'm going to add now is very important, so that you can understand more about this video. So today we are going to talk about what will gonna happen when some planet is there in the 12th house from your Venus. So wherever your Venus is placed, you have to see 12th house from that place, okay? And we will talk about something like some advice that you get about that planet that will be helpful in your love life, sexual life, romantic life, married life, okay? So let's see that. Guys, I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation. Okay guys, so for that, links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also. Now I would like to tell you that wherever Venus is placed in your chart, you just have to see one house backward, that is 12th from the Venus, okay? Because in this video we are going to discuss 12th from the Venus. So let's say your Venus is placed in the 7th house, so you have to see planet in the 6th house. Let's say your Venus is placed in the 1st house, you have to see planet in the 12th house. Let's say your Venus is placed in the 2nd house, so you have to see planet in the in the 1st house. Let's say Venus is placed in your 3rd house, so you have to see planet in the 2nd house. Let's say Venus is in the 10th house, so you have to see planet in the 9th house. So in the similar way, all you have to do is see the planet in the one house backwards, that is 12th from the Venus. So I hope this is clear to you, okay? So whichever planet is placed in the 12th house from your Venus, what kind of impact it will leave on your married life, or it can how it's kind of influence your married life, that is what we are going to discuss in this video, okay? Or I could say that I would also like to share some precautions in a way, okay, that you always have to be careful regarding your married life. So yeah guys, of course we have to do a lot of analysis for analyzing the things, but like see, the purpose of these videos is to share somewhat information that is helpful, okay? Because the more you see such kind of a video, the more information you get about yourself. So yeah, I have also created other videos regarding the 2nd from the Venus, 7th from the Venus, and a lot of other things, because those planets are also important for the married life. They also play a very important role in your love life, married life, okay? Because they somehow influence this planet, they have impact on Venus also. So that is why those planets also have their role. So you can watch those video also after this video to get more idea about your love life and married life, okay? In this video I am going to tell you that, like, I want you to analyze the planet which is 12th from the Venus, which means that wherever the Venus is placed, you have to see one house backwards which planet is sitting. Why we are seeing this 12th from the Venus? Because you know, Venus show like the love, romance, like the love, romance related thing, romantic related part of our life. And also Venus is your wealth as well, so that is also like important, right? Because your wealth is Venus, like the money you get. So yeah, for all these kind of stuff, 12th house from the Venus play a very important role. All the thing that Venus signify, whether it's your wealth, whether it's your love, whether romance, whether sexual pleasures, for achieving those things, right? What are the things that you can avoid in your life? What are the things that you have to, like, you should be careful or you should avoid, okay? That we see 12th from the Venus, okay? Why 12th from the Venus is showing the, like, see, whichever planet is in the 12th from the Venus, it is negating the Venus, right, because it is in the 12th from the Venus. And you know that 12th house is somehow associated with a lot of things, but also the losses, right? So the point I'm trying to say is that why we are focusing on these planets is because when you see some planet 12th from the Venus, okay, so it definitely talks about that if you do not take care of those things which is 12 from the Venus, okay, or you just avoid them, you don't just focus on them and just work on them, then those things could create problem uh, in all the things which are related to the Venus, or I can say all the signification of the Venus, whether it's love, romance, finance, anything. So for achieving the good results of the Venus, we have to focus on the things which is 12th from the Venus. We should work on those things and try to avoid those things which are 12th from the Venus. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's say first Sun is placed 12th house from the Venus. Sun placed in the 12th house from the Venus. One thing you should understand is that all the signification related to the Sun, especially the negative signification, you should try to avoid them from your life, or I can say sacrifice, or I can say work on those things, right? Try to avoid them uh, and pay attention to those things, otherwise it is going to create problem in the all the signification related to the Venus, whether it's your love life, married life, or the finances as well. Okay, because Venus also show wealth, right? So for like having the good thing regarding the married life, etc., all the signification of Venus, you have to avoid the negative side of Sun because it is sitting in the 12th from the Venus. Are you getting my point? So for an example, if Sun is placed in the 12th house from the Venus, it may possible that you may face problem in your relationship due to your ego. Okay, because Sun also represent ego, right? When it's the negative side, it show ego. So maybe your ego could ruin your relationships or your married life, right? So, or your wealth also, because Venus also represent that finances, etc. So for now, like you see, the precautions are the remedy. Like if you understand practically, so now we understand that Sun is in the 12th from the Venus. So maybe your ego could create problem in your married life, let's say. So what is the solution for that? Always be careful. You should understand that you have 12 from the Venus, Sun, and it may possible that due to your negative side of the Sun, which is the ego, etc., there could be problem in your relationship. So what you can do, you keep that in your mind and you just try to avoid that, try to reduce your ego, right? Try to not to become egoistic, right? That's what the solution is. That's what practicality is. If let's say you do not care for this thing and you just let the ego come in your relationship, then of course it will not be good for your married life or relationship, I would like to tell you. So this thing you need to be really careful in your life. Okay, whenever Sun set 12th from the Venus, you really need to be very careful about that. Do not become egoistic, right? uh, Otherwise it's going to create problems in your married life or love life. Also you should understand that like all the signification of the Sun, even the, like let's say father or any father figure, okay, there could be problem with them due to relationship, or I can say due to them in relationship. So you need to be really careful for that. Also sometime it could also be possible that let's say in your relationship you think that you are very confident, and let's say you have Sun 12th from the Venus, so you just try to uh, like become overconfident and you just try to overpower your spouse, and she or he may not like that. Okay, so that also, like such kind of a thing also be possible. See, I have to be really careful what I am saying because I do not want to spread any negativity, right? I just want to spread some like I have to be very careful what I'm saying because I'm saying the things which could be helpful for you. So if you try to avoid such things, Okay, that's what my point is, that you should try to avoid such things so that it will be beneficial for you in not only in your relationship but also in your money wise, like financially also it could be helpful. Need to be really careful, right? That all the signification of the sun, especially the negative signification, they could create problem in your life, marriage related thing, and also all the signification of Venus. Okay, so especially we are talking about the marriage, so that is why I am focusing on marriage as of now. So try to avoid or try to work on the negative, especially the negative signification of the sun, so that they will not ruin your married life. Okay, so I hope you understand that. Now let's move on to our next planet, which is moon. Let's say moon is placed in the 12th house from the Venus. So now what will gonna happen? See, now all the negative signification of the moon, right, or I can say all the things which at least moon signify, you need to be really careful, because those things could become the reason for the problem in your married life. Let's say for an example, let's take the biggest example, let's say mood swings or moodiness, right? Let's say your spouse is there, he or she, uh, like let's say you said that let's go on a dinner, okay, and she get ready, right? And then after some time you were like, oh, my mood is not good, let's cancel it, please make some food. So, such things practically I've seen, like such thing happen, and such thing will become a really big problem in the relationship, when especially when moon is sitting 12th house from the Venus. So you need to be really careful for that. If such thing is happening, okay, and you have moon in the 12th from the Venus, it is going to create problem for like in your relationship, because in that case your spouse will be like frustrated, and like it's not good for the relationship. Okay, so try to reduce this moodiness, or I can say at least the commitments, or I can say the things that you've done with your spouse, for like something like a going on a date or somewhere, like in the dinner or like the lunch or anywhere going out or anything like that. Please try to fulfill them, do not postpone them or do not cancel them due to your moodiness. Okay, otherwise it might not be good for your love life or married life. Okay, this is the first thing I would like to add. One more thing you should understand is that too much emotional dependent on your partner might not be good. Because see, moon, like when you have moon 12th from the Venus, and you are emotionally too much dependent on your partner, so it may possible that he or she may think, oh my god, what kind of a person he or she is, like every time just like having crying kind of a thing and dependent upon me, he's not independent or he's not confident, something like that could be possible. Okay, so when you do too much of, like little bit is okay, but when you do too much of that, it could again become another reason. So that's why I'm saying the signification of moon you should understand. If like, see, when you do those things which are the signification of moon, okay, so that 12th from the Venus, that planet get activated, so now that is going to create problem in the Venus related thing, especially your married life, love life, romantic relationship. Okay, that will try to break them. Okay, so that is why you need to be really careful about such things. So after getting married, you need to be really careful regarding your psychological, or I can say the mental health related things. Make sure you take care of your mental health. Do proper, if possible, let do at least some, like maybe 5-10 minute daily. Start doing meditation. Okay, or walking on the moonlight is also a good idea, at least half an hour or 15 minute daily in the evening. Okay, sometime when there is a full moon, you should see moon. On the day of full moon, see moon at least for half an hour to 1 hour. Keep staring at the moon, that is also good, that give the positive energy. Okay, so yeah, especially like once you get married, you need to be really careful about your mental health. Okay, just be careful regarding that, because if that disturb, that is again, it may possible that let's say your mental health somehow disturbed, that could become another reason for the break in the marriage. Okay, so yeah, you need to be really careful about that as well. So this is all about the moon, 12 from the Venus. So what I'm trying to say is here again is that signification of the moon, and signification of the moon is also the mother or the motherly like figure. Okay, so whenever you have 12th from the moon, you need to be really careful about all those things. Okay, because such thing could become the reason, whether due to your relationship separation or problem in the signification of the moon can be seen, or due to the moon related signification problem in the relationship could be seen. Okay, so yeah, so this is all about the moon. Now let's talk about Mars. Let's say Mars is placed in the 12th from the Venus. So what will going to happen when Mars is placed 12th from the Venus? What will you do? Like what will be the result? See, when Mars is placed in the 12th from the Venus, what it is indicating? It is indicating that you need to be really careful that your aggression, your fighting spirit, right, using your hands to beat or something like that, that could become the separation or the problem in your relationship. That could be the reason of that. So whenever you have Mars 12th from the Venus, you need to be really careful that try to control your anger. Okay, anyhow, like if nothing is happening, try to go to the some place where there is a punching bag and just do as much punch as you can until you feel tired, so that you can remove your anger on that punching bag. Okay, do not try to use your hand or like fighting kind of a thing with your partner, because that could be a problem here. Okay, I hope you understand. I try to avoid going into the negative deep right? So I am just saying very carefully, right? So I hope you understand. When Mars is placed 12th from the Venus, so all the Mars related thing, or I can say the negative signification, you need to be really careful. If those thing increases, bam, there's going to be problem in your relationship definitely, or I can say break, right? And that you can say also for the married life, love life, relationship, everything. So whenever you take decision regarding your love life, etc., you need to spend some time and think before taking that. Do not take just decision in the aggression. If let's say anything happen and you are like, oh, we are getting separated, bum, just done, we are done, right? That is Mars, because doing things in aggression very quickly. Do not do that. Just spend some time. First get relaxed, first let that anger down, then take the decision. This is another advice for when Mars is placed 12th from the Venus. Okay, because it could also possible that unnecessary in anger you take some stupid decision. Okay, and then you will later feel bad about that. So you need to be really careful about that as well. So maybe some male figure could become problem, like the reason of problem in your relationship, maybe. Okay, in some cases it could also possible when Mars is in the 12th from the Venus. Maybe your brother, maybe some of your friends, some kind of a male figure. Okay, like let's say you spend more time with your brother and your wife, or like your spouse start to feel frustrated about that, or you spend more time with some friend and your spouse start to feel frustrated about that. So such kind of a thing could also possible in some cases when you have such placement. So you need to be really careful about that as well. Okay, so this is all about Mars 12th from the Venus. Now let's talk about Mercury. So now let's talk about Mercury. What will gonna happen when Mercury is placed in the 12th from the Venus? Mercury in the 12th from the Venus is talking about, like the thing that you need to be careful here is that when you take any decision regarding your love, romance and relationship, etc., you need to be really practical. Okay, because it may possible that you might not be very practical in like when you take decision regarding your relationship, etc. Okay, Also communication is good, okay, but see, there are two things. When 12th from the Venus is Mercury, whether there could be problem in relationship due to lack of communication, okay, like there is a, like let's say something happen, you start to break the communication, so that could become reason for the problem in relationship or married life or love life. Or over communication, okay, unnecessary gossips or talking too much could feel like bad, okay. So you see some, like let's say for an example, let me give you an example. You see some you see some, for some girls and some boys, like for both it's true, some girls break relationship with some boys who talk a lot, like unnecessary, they're just talking, they are like, oh my god, this is stupid, like they block them. Opposite thing in some cases also happens, some girls talk a lot and the boy is like, oh my god, she speaks so much, my mind is fucked up, so like the blocking is there. So that kind of a thing could also be possible here, whether there is a lack of communication that could become the reason of the problem in relationship, or there is over gossiping, just talking unnecessary a lot, that could also be become a reason, okay. So you need to be careful for such things as well in your relationship. If you are such kind of a nature is there, like anything going on extreme, you understand, like when Mercury is there, whether you are breaking communication or you are over communicating, both the things are dangerous. So you have to be somewhere in the middle, that is what I'm trying to say, okay. If you are somewhere in the middle, that's when 12th from the Mercury is okay. Oh sorry, 12th from the Venus, Mercury's place, that is okay. This is all about Mercury, 12th from the Venus. Now let's talk about Jupiter. If Jupiter is placed 12th from the Venus, then what will going to happen? When Jupiter is placed 12th from the Venus, so there could be some kind of a change in your belief system due to your marriage, that could be possible, okay. There could be spiritual connection with your partner, okay, that could be possible. But it may possible that because of the Jupiter 12th from the Venus, the reason for the problem in the relationship or the married life could become uh, like either you started to talk too much religious about with your spouse, like let's say you are just like, oh my god, you are just talking about the god and these places and spirituality, or like your spouse is like, what the hell is that, man, talk to me about love, romance, right, talk to me about such things, and you are talking about the religion and etc to her, okay. So that could become, like I mean, like little bit is okay, but like you see some people have this problem, like let's say husband is very much spiritual, wife is not that much spiritual, wife want to go on a movie, do like some kind of a stuff fun, and husband is talking about spirituality, or the opposite, vice versa could also be true. That kind of a thing could become problem in your relationship, so you need to be careful for that. Talk only that much amount about such things, that much your spouse want, so okay. Also another thing could be possible is that you are just lecturing like every time your spouse, so that could also become a problem, okay. So let's say whether you are a boy or a girl, about like talking to your spouse and every time guiding them, every time telling them that hey, this is not good, that's how you have to do things, that's how you have to cook the food, that's how you have to clean the clothes, and that's how you have to do this, do that, every time doing that, and he or she will feel like, oh my god, what the hell, you are not my professor, please don't do such kind of stuff. So like you should understand this, when Jupiter is in the 12th from the Venus, although it's a good thing, but still such kind of a thing could become the reason for the problem in the relationship, so you need to be really careful, okay. Guiding your spouse is a good thing, but over guiding, every time telling them, like she might feel very suffocated or he might feel very suffocated due to such like Jupiter related signification if you just overuse them. That's what I'm trying to tell you, so you need to be careful for that. The thing is that although spirituality here is good for you, like in married life, but over, like becoming over spiritual could like become the reason of problem thing, right? Because well, as I told you, that spouse is expecting totally things which are opposite of spirituality, and you are overindulged in spirituality. So that could also become the reason for the breakage, or I can say the problem in relationship. So you need to be really careful about that. So this is all about the Jupiter 12th from the Venus. Now let's talk about our next planet, which is Saturn. What will gonna happen when Saturn is placed 12th from the Venus? What are you going to do? See, when Saturn is placed 12th from the Venus, so Saturn somehow represent the, you know, the boundaries, limitations, and like try to stop other person. So see, when Saturn is in the 12th from the Venus, so it may possible that Saturn related signification could like you just try to um, use them in your relationship, and that could become the problem in your relationship. So what I'm trying to say, for an example, putting too much restrictions on your spouse, okay, that could become, let's say for an example, you see in some males put, like for an example, there is a, like I'm just giving example, there's a male, and he's putting too much expect, like what I can say, restriction for his spouse, like you can't go there, you can't do this, you can't do that time, and this and that. So it's putting so much restrictions on your spouse, or using so many restrictions in your relationship could create a problem, or could become the reason of separation, or becoming or the reason for the marital unhappiness, okay, or even problem in relationship. So do not think that if you keep your spouse restricted, if you put too many rules and regulation on your spouse, then the relationship will be work. But in fact, if you have Saturn 12th from the Venus, and you put too many restrictions or too many rules and regulation, that you have to do this, you have to follow that, and this and that, and this is my rule, then like, then your relationship will not be good, I'm telling you. So you need to avoid such things, okay. Do not put such restrictions on your partner if you have such like Saturn 12 from the Venus, otherwise it is going to ruin your relationship, okay. Also when Saturn is in 12th from the Venus, so uh, it may possible that your career, like whether you or your spouse career could become problem in your relationship. Why? It may possible that you might be too much indulge in your career, that your partner is waiting for you at the home, and you're just coming at the late night, and you are just not spending time with her or him, okay, due to which he or she want to get separated, okay. So your career could also become another reason for your break in relationship, okay. That could also be possible. So you need to be really careful for that. Do not uh, I would say, do not uh, do not indulge, like do not show overindulgence in your career. You need to spend, you need to find some time, quality time, that you can spend with your partner. Because in such cases, when Saturn sit 12th from the Venus, it also happened that you focus too much on your career, due to which you didn't get the time to spend with your partner, and then that become the reason for the problem in the relationship. So you need to be really careful for that as well. Also when Saturn is in the 12th from the Venus, laziness, your laziness could become another problem in your relationship. You might be lazy. If you are lazy, then it could also create problem. Let's say for an example, your spouse is saying let's go for the dinner, you're like, oh my god baby, I'm tired, I'm sorry, I can't go today, and you just say that many times, and she or he are like, oh my god, what the hell, like what kind of a person you are, you are too lazy. So that kind of a thing could also become the reason for the problem in your relationship. So you need to avoid that as well, okay. You need to be really careful for that. So this is all about the Saturn when placed 12th from the Venus. Now let's talk about our next planet, which is Rahu. Rahu placed, guys, 12th from the Venus. It could talk about that there could be, it may possible that you could marry someone from the different caste, different culture. There could be some difference between you and your spouse, okay. Some different kind of things could be possible. Also you need to, just like when you get married or you are creating relationship with someone, just at least spend some time and think about that, okay. because Rahu is also an illusion. So when it's connected with the partner thing, so it could just like you just fall for someone and you are not seeing their real face and you just get married, and then so you need to be really careful for that as well. Okay, and especially when you are in relationship, you need to avoid all the negative signification of your or related to Rahu. That might become the problem in your relationship. Let's say, because Rahu also represent obsession, so you have obsession about something in relationship, that could be anything, and your spouse could feel frustrated about that, that you are like you are asking too much from me, and so there could be argument, fight due to that, so that could also possible. So you need to try to avoid that, you need to be careful about that. Having too much desires, too much obsessions from your spouse could become problem in your relationship, or I can say could become the reason of the breakage or the problem in your relationship, love life or married life. Rahu when set 12th from the Venus, it also creates some kind of like little bit connection that you could marry some foreigner also. There could be some, or like some different, something different in your partner. Okay, that could also be possible. So this is all about Rahu 12th from the Venus. Now let's talk about Ketu. So when Ketu is placed 12th from the Venus, what you have to do or what gonna happen? First thing I would say that all the negative signification, or I can say mostly the signification of the Ketu, you need to be really careful about that. You need to avoid them, sacrifice them. Okay. So first thing, when we heard the word Ketu, what is the first thing come in your mind? Just comment down below what the first thing is coming in your mind as soon as you heard about the Ketu. Okay, you heard Ketu, the first thing related to Ketu. I'm giving you 10 seconds. Write it in the comment. You write it? So the first thing come in our mind when we heard the word Ketu is isolation. So when you have Ketu 12 from the Venus, and let's say you are too much isolated from your partner, you started to spend too much time alone, you started to spend too much time going away from her or him, that could become the problem in your relationship. That could become one of the reason of the separation or the problem in your married life or the relationship. Because when Ketu is in the 12th and you are just doing the things which are related to the Ketu, you are isolating, you are staying away from your partner, so that is of course saying that it is going into the negative direction, because it is negating Venus. So definitely it could lead to the separation or the problem in the married life or the love life. So you need to be really careful. When Ketu is sitting 12th from the Venus, so if you and your spouse could do like, let's say, yoga, meditation, such kind of like spirituality kind of stuff together, so that is good. But again, if you have Ketu 12th from the Venus and you are over indulging in such things, you are just always talking about moksha and this and that, then do not expect your married life to work as like good. Okay, because your partner might be like, okay, like you want from them to do meditation with you, he or she is doing that, but let's say tomorrow you want to go on extreme level related to Ketu, like he or she might not want to do that. So that could become another problem in your relationship, so you need to be really careful about that. Also when Venus is Ketu is also, when Ketu is 12th from the Venus, you should also understand that Venus is connected with the Ketu. So if you like see going on both extreme end is going to be dangerous for your relationship. One extreme end is going on separation, going staying away for a long time from your partner, that could become one reason for the problem in relationship, so you should avoid that. Another extreme is that, let's say, every single time you just focus on like your partner, like, hey, what are you doing, hey, what are you talking, which person are you talking, whom you are following on Instagram, you are just checking the phone every single time. You are thinking about, oh my god, he or she might not be in relationship with someone else. If you are too much thinking about that person, that every time you're just doing too much, because either of these things could be possible, so that could another become a reason for the like such thing, for the problem. So you need to be really careful. You have to be somewhere in the middle. Do not create too much space with your partner, and do not indulge too much. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. You have to be somewhere in the middle. Okay, spend some time, and also do not just become too much kind of indulge with them. So you need to be really careful about that as well. Also, when Ketu is in the 12th from the Venus, do not be shy with your partner. Okay, try to be open with his or her about every single thing in the life. Try to talk about all the like the vulgarest thing, even like, because your partner, you can just talk anything, right? So try to do that, break the barrier. Okay, because there could be some kind of shyness due to which you might not, like, due to which that could create problem again. So all the signification of Ketu could create problems, so you need to be careful for that as well. So guys, this is all about Ketu. So this is the video in which we talk about different planet 12th from the Venus. So yeah, these are the things that you need to be really careful for having a good married life. I hope this video helps, and I will meet you in the next video on my channel. Till then, bye bye.